Electric vehicles, along with their cousins, electric chainsaws, weed whackers, and e-bikes, were the subject of a display and gathering held at the Manchester Rec Park Saturday, September 24th, and organized by the Manchester Energy Committee and Earth Matters, a local environmental action group. Owners of cars and trucks, and even one skateboard, came together to talk about their tools and vehicles to one another and to passers-by who happened to stop to get a first-hand look at what makes them tick and what they are like to drive or use. One of them was Tim Peters of Manchester, who was there with his Chevy Bolt.
This is a 2022 Chevrolet Bolt EUV, which they make two versions, right? They make the EV, which is next door here, and this is the EUV. This was new for 2022, and the difference is it's 6 inches longer. It has 3 inches more leg room in the back. They put the extra length in the back, and it's just a little higher, a little bigger, and a little bit more like an SUV. Same engine, same charging architecture. This has more features inside, like heated and ventilated seats, a 360-degree camera, a rear view camera for the rear view mirror, adaptive cruise control. This one has a sunroof and a Bose sound system, so it's a little fancier. So, but you can see there's plenty of leg room in the back.
Green Mountain Power, the state's largest electric utility, is gearing up for a future where many more EVs are expected to be on the roads. Tiana Smith, the head of electrification at Green Mountain Power, was there to describe some of their future plans.
We are committed at GMP to helping people get into these vehicles, and also to make sure that there's charging in place so that they feel comfortable when they're out driving and that they've got options for charging. It's a great way for us to help our customers cut costs and cut carbon.
What do you see as the main issues around getting enough charging stations in place and making the charging experience somewhat analogous to filling up your car with gas? Sure.
So depending on the level of charger that you're at, our fast chargers, it's actually closer to about 40 minutes to get an electric vehicle up to 80%. If you're charging at home with one of our level 2 chargers, that's closer to 4 or 5 hours in order to get up to that 80% charge. And at this point, you know, we're installing these fast chargers. We actually here in Vermont have the greatest number of fast chargers per capita in the entire nation, and GMP is really committed to making sure that we're having these more in rural areas. And so we have goals around installing these fast chargers, lots of them every single year. It's an exciting time to be talking about charging infrastructure because there's lots of commitment and funding coming out of the federal level, also the state level. We're partnering there to get these installed, get the infrastructure in place, and goals to get these, you know, as you said, very just like gas stations are, and really accessible for folks.
It wasn't just cars that were on display. So were chainsaws and weed whackers. Theo Tolcott demonstrated some.
One of the worst things about doing this work is having to smell the smut. And so you can use this and not get a headache. The battery just pops right out here, like so. Same for this weed whacker here, which is like runs for a good 20 minutes, and then it conks out, which is about all you want to do anyway.
Meanwhile, Jason Matarese arrived on his motorized rollerboard.
It's got two 350-watt motors. I get about 18 miles of range. It goes about 26 miles an hour, which is a little bit faster than you want to go.
Yeah.
But it's really fun, and I definitely have a blast on it.
This is the motor right there?
Yep, 2 motors, got a Bluetooth remote control, belt driven. You can get ones with bigger wheels, 4-wheel drive. Will take you right up the mountain if you want it.
Nearby, Allison Stannard demonstrated her electric bike, or e-bike.
I purchased from Battenkill Bicycles in 2019, and I just love it. It's changed my life. It has 3 assists on it. I usually drive it on 1 assist because it's kind of heavy. And but I put the other side gears up pretty high so that I get a lot of exercise. And it's great.
One of the most looked-over vehicles in the lot was a Ford F-150 pickup truck, which the automaker has recently brought to market and is catching a lot of buzz. Owner Stephen Henry gave us the walkthrough.
It's nice. It's much better than a traditional F-150 or other truck that has a solid rear axle. All of these the suspension is independent on the F-150 and the Lightning, and it's much better in the sense of comfort and just ease of use over a long distance journey or even around town. So the overall driving is nice. It's a wheel size, a little dismayed with 22 inches because it's huge, but it's still comfortable. The only thing you lose with the 22-inch tire is the range, a little bit of range, but you still get over 300 if you drive frugally with one pedal driving. If you accelerate and do launches of 4-second launches, 0 to 60, you will get a ticket, but you'll also get less range. So everything works out as to there are some benefits and there's some disadvantages. The disadvantages, you don't know you're necessarily going fast because it's very comfortable and you have to really pay attention to the speedometer. But overall, it will get you where you need to get to if it's 300 miles of range or 300-mile distance and get you there very comfortably. This has the massaging seats and also the lay flat, so while you're charging you could go lay flat with them and lay down and rest like a bed, and then you can just hit the button, it comes back up for you and the massaging ends, and then you can get back on the road after charging.
Electric vehicles and their kin are having a major moment. With concerns about climate change rising, along with efforts to control carbon emissions, and in Vermont transportation accounts for a large share of the overall amount of such emissions, more financial incentives are being dangled to potential consumers. The recently passed Federal Inflation Reduction Act also gives a major push forward for EVs. Chris Anderson of Earth Matters described the purpose of the event.
We're really advocating that people begin to think about things they can do to cut down on their fossil fuel use, and having an electric vehicle, electric tools for your lawn care, or an electric bike is a good way to start thinking about it. And there are lots of rebates and incentives from Green Mountain Power, Efficiency Vermont, the state of Vermont, that can make the purchase less expensive, especially for people who think they can't afford an electric vehicle. Some of the newer models that are coming out are smaller, and so they're less expensive. And you can get a federal credit of up to $7,500, and there's also Vermont credits that you can get. So it's really worth looking into as a possibility for you to reduce your fossil fuel use. We also have information today about weatherizing and other ways to cut down on the use of your fuel at home to heat your home. And also, there are new programs. One of them is called Green Saving Smart. And each of the community action agencies in each county, there are 5 financial coaches that can meet with you, talk about your expenses, and suggest ways that you can cut the use of fossil fuel. But the main thinking about this is to cut the cost to you, so that you can make improvements in your heating and your transportation use.
Electricity, not gasoline, almost became the means of propulsion for automobiles in the dawn of the car era, but lost out to the internal combustion engine-powered cars. But the tide may be turning, and this time it could be a permanent one. Imagine a future with no need to change the oil, much lower long-term maintenance costs, and no need to stop for gas. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.